Hello, and welcome to my Orbiter Mars to Earth video series. This is part one. This is actually a continuation of my last video series from when I flew from Earth to Mars. We're picking right up where I left off, so it's pretty exciting. I haven't done this before. Thanks to Wing C3 for the idea. Thanks for watching. And I just want to, real quick before we get started, just say a few things. Number one, this is not a tutorial. If you're not familiar with Orbiter or haven't really played around with it much before, you'll probably be pretty confused watching this video. I make these videos just so that people can see a whole flight from start to finish. So, maybe you have some flying under your belt, but you don't really know what to do next, or you get stuck in certain places. It's been really helpful for me to watch whole flights unedited, uncut. Secondly, I'm definitely not an expert at Orbiter. Certainly been getting better as I continue to make these videos, but I'll probably make mistakes along the way, and I think that in itself is a great learning tool, is just to see how something goes wrong or doesn't go quite to plan. You can usually figure out a solution one way or another. So anyways, let's jump into cockpit view. So like I said, this is picking up from the last video, so I have pretty much no fuel. First thing we'll take care of is open the fuel hatch and the LOX hatch. And then we'll go ahead and gotta wait for the pressure to go up. There we go. Hit refuel. We'll cross-feed to RCS, it'll automatically fill up RCS, and then the rest of the main. Get APU, LOX, and just do some time warp. Get through that.
RCS main fuel tank, LOX tanks full.
Close the hatches.
Supply systems offline.
And now we're gonna plot our trip back to Earth. Pull up TransX on both sides. Target escape forward. Target Earth. The projection set to plan, prograde automin. Pretty much the same process as going to Earth, so should be pretty straightforward here. Find our closest approach. I guess I should go to rough. Yeah, there we go. Pretty close. A little too far. Let's see, that's probably. Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay, let's fix my trim real quick.
Rotation.
Before I forget. And then pulling up scenario editor, I realized that you can't see this. I don't know how to get my screen capture to capture the pop-up, so I apologize for that. But I'm just going to scenario editor, going to date, and then let's see, our eject date on the plan is 620378. So I'm going to warp ahead to just 037. Okay, so 62037. That should give us plenty of time to adjust. We'll hit apply. Usually it just takes, yeah, just like that. It just needs to like reset. Okay. Next we will get periapsis distance. Major radius is 3.39, so we'll add 200 kilometers to do 36901230. And then we'll go ahead and switch to eject. Actually, I think I didn't. Gotta get that graph projection because it looks pretty weird. If you don't. And then actually, before we do that, let's get our fuel and locks and everything. I guess just locks. So down here on the bottom right there is time of flight, 228 days. It's a lot shorter than flying from Earth to Mars. So sorry, what did I say? 228? I'm like talking and trying to do things at the same time. So we're gonna dump locks. Suppose I didn't have to fill up. I could have just waited to fill up instead of dumping it, but you know, going through process here.
Warning, locks done. Warning, locks done.
So 228.
Warning, locks done. Warning, locks done.
Oh, come on.
Hold to dump locks.
Okay, I need a little bit more, so we're gonna have to do this again.
Locks resupply systems.
That button's so
online.
finicky sometimes. I don't know why. Okay, that's good. So what I'm doing here is offline. I'm not going to need enough fuel. Sorry, let me say that again. Let's go back to here. So 228 total delta V 3. So we're not going to need an extra fuel tank because getting to orbit around Mars takes a lot less delta V with the smaller planet radius and much less atmosphere. It doesn't take a lot of delta V to get into orbit, which is the main reason why you need that extra fuel from Earth. So we'll have enough to get us to Mars, and then okay. My point here is that so in my bay right now, I've already ejected that extra fuel tank from the last mission. So I have an extra, or I have the additional LOX tank in my bay, but what I want is to eject it basically around the time that we get to Earth. So I just want enough LOX to where that tank is empty. Which I guess technically I could just dump it anyways, because then I would still have there's about 13 days of LOX that your ship will carry without an extra tank. But you know, I'm just trying to keep as low weight as possible to make a more efficient flight. So anyways, let's stop talking about that. Let's go back and finish this up. So just like before, we're gonna get the white line over the green circle. I've done this flight, you know, practiced this flight a few times, and I think the way that the Earth and the Moon are in their orbital planes with each other, I pretty much can never get the orientation all the way, or the heading, I should say, all the way to 90 degrees. So we're just trying to get that as close to 90 as possible, and then we'll take that. So let's go ahead and warp time forward. Well, usually has this big jump at one point. It's kind of, you'll see. Yep, there it goes, like that. Okay. Actually, it looks like we need to go all the way around. Did I go too far? Yes, I did. Did I? No, I didn't go far enough. Yep, because I'm going to test that. Waiting for that heading pretty much as soon as it starts going negative, which is going to be close. Oh, don't go too far. Okay, we're gonna take this. So let's get set up. We do it a little bit differently. So since we're doing a hover, we're on a hover pad here. I'm gonna set up descent hold. We'll do +5. Let's do +10. But then I'm also gonna do attitude hold, because again, the atmosphere is so thin in Mars that I can kind of get away with doing this. It's a lot easier than trying to freehand it, and I can keep my relative inclination, and kind of keep that. Or let's switch to pitch. 35 is probably going to be where I want to start out at. We'll start there and then climb till probably about 10 kilometers, and then more or less level out. It's really, the APA will go up really quickly. Let me just make sure that orbit actually is set up. It's not. Okay. Switch HUD. Don't necessarily need APU, but it kind of helps when you're in the atmosphere, so we'll get that right.
Pitch.
It probably helps the autopilot as well. Turn off auto cooling.
Onboard O2.
And oops, don't do that. So what's my heading? 68. Alright, let's take off.
Gear up.
Guess we needed APU for the gear, so
Gear up and
68.
locked.
Now I go full throttle. Engage autopilot there. Turn off the hover engines. Oh, I suppose it automatically turned off.
Mach 1.
I didn't notice that before. Okay. Relative inclination's falling.
Mach 2.
Might even be a little bit too fast, but
Mach 3.
actually looks okay. So you see my APA is already at 20, even though I'm only at 6, so it goes pretty quick. Let's start dipping down.
Mach 4.
Maybe a little bit more.
Mach 5.
APA is at 56 already. Let's go down more.
Mach 6. Mach 7.
Relative inclination's falling at a pretty steady rate. Let's actually get that line back up.
Mach 8.
Excuse me.
Mach 9.
Excuse me. Just trying to get that as much energy, much speed, velocity as we can without getting the APA too high. So that's why I'm leveling out.
Mach 11.
relative inclination's getting closer.
Mach 12.
Maybe about time to hit the kill switch here. Turn off autopilot, get the radiator out. Oh, it's already... I guess you can get away with that on Mars, but let's go ahead and close these which are on hover doors. Oh no, I don't know, I saw green and for some reason thought that meant it was deployed. Yeah, let's take that out. Look here. And then I'm going to turn AQ off. Let's see if I can maybe use translation and get that relative inclination down. Is that messing up my... It doesn't look like it.
Rotation.
Maybe instead of that, we'll just use main thrusters.
Translation.
That's probably good.
Rotation.
Go ahead and switch cockpit views. Okay, so APA. Go ahead and circularize. Mod, apoapsis, circ. 300 seconds. Little view here.